guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So we're actually not working on the F80 M3 tonight. We're actually working on my buddy's G80 M3. Now, one of the first videos I did on the F80 on my car was install a valve controller. What that actually does, it allows you to open and close the valves at your leisure because the BMW tuning, the BMW programming for the valves open and close based on the RPM, the drive mode and all that. And it can sound a little funky. So there's a lot of companies that have come out with different modules that you can plug directly into your USB or directly into the valves to be able to control them at your leisure. Now the G80 is exactly the same way in terms of the valve control. However, on the G80, there's an actual button that you push on the center console where you're able to open or close. Also, when you put it into M mode, they open. However, there is a caveat. It actually doesn't fully open. What they actually do is they do open slightly, and they also modulate. So different RPM ranges, they actually kind of open and close like this, as opposed to staying fully open all the time, no matter what mode you're in, no matter what RPM and all of that. So although you may think they're open, they're actually not. Keys Motorsports actually did a fantastic video showing the different valve controls and how things open and close when you're under different load and different RPM and everything. So make sure you check out that video if you want to see the actual flaps kind of opening and closing and see exactly what I'm talking about. But we're actually going to be installing a valve controller on my buddy's G80. And that valve controller that we are installing is the Dahler. Dahler is a very, very high-end, fantastic company, made in Germany, developed in Switzerland, so you know it's a quality product. And this is actually a little bit different than the one I installed on my car. My car is a little bit different. I installed mine through the OBD2 port, and I was able to control it with the stalk, the blinker stalk in the car. This one actually plugs directly into the valves of the G80 or the F80. It doesn't really matter. This works for both F chassis and G chassis, so it doesn't really matter. Now there's a 1 valve and a 2 valve one that you can get. This is the 2 valve. Obviously, if you only have 1 valve, you only need to get the one with 1. If you have 2, which is most M cars, well, all the M cars, you need the one with the 2 valve. So as you can see right here, we got the Dahler 2 valve VC2 Black Edition valve controller. Super simple install. You literally are working in the muffler area where the valves are located. You simply just unplug them, plug this in, kind of hide all the wires, tie them up, and you're good to go. But before he gets here, let's go ahead, open this up and check out everything that you do get. First and foremost, I purchased this through Keys Motorsports. Huge shout out to Brian for sending this out. Thank you very, very much. Keys Motorsports can get you anything that you need for your BMW, for whatever chassis, whatever model, whatever. They can get you anything that you possibly need. They sent this over. Again, huge shout out to Brian. So let's go ahead, open this up, and I'll show you what's inside. They actually have a QR code right inside the box where you can scan that and get your install instructions. But this video is going to help show you exactly how to install it, so you're not going to need that. This is the actual valve controller. So as you can see, there's a couple plugs. There's 2 sets of plugs. One is going to go directly into the valve. The other one's going to go into the OEM valve harness. So pretty straightforward. So this is basically like a bypass module that goes between the factory wiring and the factory valve. So super simple. And we're going to hide this module up in a nice kind of discreet area, so you're not going to see this. It's going to stay nice and protected from all the elements. You also get this. What this is actually the little remote. So you can actually open and close this through this remote, which is really cool. So you can keep this in your car, on your keychain, whatever, and you can open and close through this. However, Dahler went one step further and made it even better. And what I mean by that is you can actually program the valve controller, this little remote, to your home link. Home link is the little buttons underneath your mirror that can open a garage door, a gate, and whatever you have it programmed to. You can actually program this directly to one of those buttons so you can open and close through that. So I love that they did that. Makes it super integrated, and you won't even need this. We'll see what my buddy wants. Most likely he'll want it with the home link programs, but either way, he has this option as well. They also include a bunch of zip ties for tying up all of the wires. You get some 3M Velcro, which is really nice, so you can use this to actually mount it. And then you also get a cool little keychain. So if that is your thing, you can use that. It comes in this nice little box, as you can see. And that is everything. So as you can see, really simple. There's not much to it. Literally just a plug and play application. This is completely reversible. This is not going to void your warranty. I know some of you may have that question, but it is absolutely not going to. This simply can be removed and the factory wiring can be plugged right back into the factory valves. So like nothing ever happened. So really, really easy. Also, a really cool thing is that you're able to turn the valves to OEM operation as well. So if you don't want them open or closed and you want them functioning just like OEM, you can do that as well with this. So I'm just waiting for my buddy to arrive. Once he gets here, we can get to installing. All right, so my buddy came. This is a 2023 Yara edition. This is in Techno Violet. He actually has Stealth PPF. I did a full walk around on this car. This bit is on the channel if you haven't seen it, but it's an amazing car. Absolutely love it. But let's go ahead. Let's get this installed. Obviously, we're going to be working back here. I'm going to show you where each valve is. They're kind of on the side of the muffler on either side. So what I'm going to do is plug these in first, kind of get everything situated, and then we can tie up all the wires. All right, so we are on the driver's side right now. Here is the valve. The back of the muffler is right here. So it's more towards the tire actually. So we're going to go ahead and unplug this right here, and then we can go ahead and plug one of the wires from the Dahler into this. All right, so we got the stock valve harness unplugged. Now I'm going to take two of the plugs from the Dahler. Obviously you need a male end and a female. You're going to plug the female into the stock harness, and then the male is going to go into the actual valve. All right, so we got the driver's side done. What I'm actually going to do now is feed the passenger wire through the heat shield. So there's a little hole right there. I'm going to feed that through the other side. Then I can pull it through, so obviously it doesn't make any contact with the exhaust. All right, so I got the passenger side wires fed through the heat shield right there. So now we're simply just going to plug it in here, and then we can tie up all the extra wire, and I'll show you where to hide the little box. All right, so we got everything plugged in. Now what I'm going to do is zip tie all the extra wire up and kind of get that all cleaned up, get it zip tied so it's out of the way, obviously not touching any of the exhaust components or anything like that. And then I'll show you what to do with this. All right, so we got all the extra wire bundled up, zip tied, and everything is cleanly kind of tied away. I zip tied any extra wire up into the heat shield where the actual factory plug for the valve controller is in, zip tie that up there so it's nice and tight and in place. Did the same thing on the other side as well. So now for the box, what we're actually going to do, I'll kind of show you, it's kind of hard doing this on the ground, but behind this plastic piece right here, there is a little hole, a nice little cubby for this. So what we're going to do is use a supplied Velcro, stick that on the bottom, and then there's a kind of a little shelf area that you can place that in. I'll try to show you, it's a little hard just because I'm on the ground. And tuck it away, zip tie the rest in that little cubby, and we'll be set. All right guys, so kind of show, it's up in this little area. I just Velcroed it to the back side of it and it's staying in there nicely. Tucked up the wires and we are good to go. So everything is tucked away nicely. Now we're going to program the little key fob to the little buttons underneath. He wants to do number 1, so we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're going to program. So all we're going to do is hold down the open button and the number 1. Okay, so now it's programmed. You can kind of see the green light. That means it's programmed and everything good. So all you gotta do is hit it again and we are good. So now we can open and close with the mirror. All right, so we got it programmed to the HomeLink mirror. So number 3 actually opens up the valves, and then we hit number 2 in the middle and it actually closes. Kind of hard to hear, but open number 3 and then close in the middle of number 2. So that way you can open up a garage with number 1 and we can kind of leave that one open. So this is open. All right, guys, so install complete. My buddy just left. Huge difference. I mean, you guys were able to hear the difference between closed and open. Definitely is a major change. I mean, with the valves closed, it honestly sounds like a vacuum cleaner. With it open, it sounds like a true M car. I can actually hear him in the distance ripping it right now. So that's pretty cool. I know he's enjoying it right now. He's really happy with it. So there you go, guys. There is the Dahler 2-valve exhaust controller. You guys can get it for your F chassis or G chassis. It's both the exact same thing. It's as simple as that. Plug it into the actual valves, tie up all the wires, hide the little box, and you are good to go. So huge shout out to Brian from Keys Motorsports. If you guys are interested in picking one of those up, I will link it below. But that's gonna do it for this one, guys. We're gonna jump back onto the F80. We're gonna start doing the wheels. We're gonna start doing the suspension, exhaust, getting all the fun stuff. We have done a lot to it, but we are going to really set this car up and get it looking proper. So if you guys have any questions at all about the exhaust control, leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.